Hello everyone, and welcome back to Project Eden's Garden. We are continuing the investigation into the murder of Wolfgang Akare. Without further ado, let's head out. We have to meet up with Ava to investigate, or to discuss Diana's testimony. Still with Ava?
Get to the point!
Ah, right, we're going to the laundry room. Alright, it doesn't telling the truth. Diana should be in here. Sure enough. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Diana was standing with her back against the wall, arms raised around herself in a tight embrace. She's even worse shape than before. Diana, I need to ask you a question. Please give me a moment. It's been kind of tough.
No.
The investigation is going to end really soon. We can't wait. Okay, sorry. Where were you during the blackout?
Oh.
The blackout, right before the body was discovered. I was just in my room alone doing my makeup. You don't have any makeup on, though. I was experimenting with new combinations, so I wiped it all off already.
I see.
So you're alone in your room the entire morning? Yeah, I just wasn't feeling up to it.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm feeling a little sick all of a sudden. Do you mind if I go back to my dorm? I've asked all the questions I wanted to. Thanks.
So...
She was acting weird at all?
That's...
No weirder than the others. Anyways, Diana gave a testimony across from my list now. She's the only people I still need to speak to.
Where?
I hope Ingrid and Toshiko are still in the courtyard. We don't know until we see for ourselves. Alright, let's go before this investigation ends. Ooh. I like them feeling a warning of time limit before. Even if it's, it's a time limit in the universe rather than out of the universe. I think that's a fun detail. Toshiko and Ingrid had retreated into the bandstand at the center of the courtyard. The larger girl was accompanying the smaller girl who completely hid her face behind her fan.
Hello?
Hey, have either of you been investigating? Investigating? Toshiko lured him to reveal a pair of puppy eyes.
Unacceptable!
I don't know. What do you expect me to do?
Seriously?
Look for clues. Clues?
Impossible!
How am I meant to do that? It's not like I've had to solve a murder before, you know. My hands have been a bit full, so no luck finding any clues. I can see why.
Moving on.
Okay, well, did you at least notice anything suspicious this morning? Could be a person acting odd or strange sound. That's what most real-life testimonies talk about anyway.
Think this through.
Person acting odd. Maybe not at the time, but looking back, that must be a little strange. You want to tell him, Toshiko? Okay, fine. This morning, I saw Wolfgang.
Huh?
When did you see him? In the dorm hallway on my way back from the pharmacy. The dorm hallway. Just as I was about to enter my room, I saw Wolfgang leave his. Oh, Wolfgang. What a coincidence running into each other like this. Are you already on your way to the tournament? It's rather early. Of course not. A professional like myself is better than to attend some silly party. Alright, my apologies. What about you? Are you going to the tournament? That's correct. I'm going to the tournament. I'm just heading to the laundry room right now. This batch of clothes I accidentally left behind them there.
That's...
Wolfgang said he was going to attend the tournament.
Strange.
Yesterday he told everyone he was too busy to attend. Actually, to change his mind, I had no reason to question him. I heard bits and pieces of the conversation from inside my dorm. The whole thing couldn't have lasted longer than a minute.
Bit complicated.
Toshiko and I are bunk buddies, by the way. Thought I'd mention that in case David didn't know. Okay, thanks. Anyway, when I heard that what Wolfie said, my first thought was leftover clothes. I don't remember any leftover clothes. But I figured I must have been misremembering with my aching head and all. Aching head? I was suffering a terrible headache this morning. Couldn't even see 2 steps in front of me, let alone get up from my bed. That's why I'd gone to the pharmacy. I was hoping to procure some medication for Ingrid. Not my proudest moment, I'll admit, but I knew I could trust Toshiko with the job.
So,
Do you know what time the interaction with Wolfgang happened? 8:10, I think?
how should I put it?
Conversation happened just a little after the morning announcement, but I can tell you with confidence. Yes, 10 past should make sense. When the announcement initially played, I was just about to leave the pharmacy. But she was already inside the pharmacy by 8 a.m. This Wolfgang, he looked totally fine when he saw him.
Sure.
Nothing seemed to arrive. That doesn't call into question what Grace told me earlier. Or doesn't that call into question what Grace told me earlier? Either Grace lied to me about Wolfgang calling in sick, or she was telling the truth, and Wolfgang just got out as a liar. I could probably produce an answer. I know what time Grace left Wolfgang's dorm. If she left before 8:10 a.m., she would have already been out of the picture by the time Wolfgang made his move. Hence why she only remembers him in bed. However, if she left after 8:10 a.m., she would have been there for Wolfgang's encounter with Toshiko, which means she lied about Wolfgang being bedridden during a period in which she was in his dorm. Funny how she never gave me a time. Toshiko's next quest. What else happened after Toshiko saw Wolfgang? That blackout sure gave us a spook. Toshiko and I decided to stay where we were until the lights turned off, and we didn't watch you and your buddies pass by. You saw that?
How should I put it?
Heard it first, then took a peek. I would have said something, but I still wasn't feeling my usual self. So we watched you up until you all went down the stairs. That must have been how you found the crime scene, right? Yeah, that's right.
Too much for me.
Such a terrible sight. I can't believe someone here might actually be behind it. Let's just hope we can solve it. Oh, here we go. Trial time. Yeah, that's... Alright everyone, that's time. Please drop whatever it is you're doing and proceed over to the Tree of Ignorance. Don't make me wait too long, otherwise you'll be in for a shocking surprise. Get it? Because your trinkets can zap you. Anyway, just gonna move on. It's time.
Fingers crossed.
You two go on ahead. Toshiko and I will catch up.
Listen to me.
Okay, let's go, damn it. Right. Ooh. Even I made the short tracks to the room of the tree. That's not only evidence we have. It's a lot, I think. Like, yeah, a surprisingly large amount of evidence for the first official case. Okay. Yeah, so we got the blackout, the blood spots, boiler room doorknobs on the opposite side. His hands have the scars. The G-pad clock at the time. Extension cords. The footsteps. The game tournament. The generator. Grace's testimony. We gotta check about time with her, but we're not gonna have time before the trial, so that'll be a trial thing. A knife with blood on it, so someone has a cut that they're hiding. Someone got hurt and he's hiding it, because it can't be Wolfgang. He wasn't bleeding. Cereal and alcohol. Shrapnel. Steel rolling pin. This has to be from the bomb, or whatever exploded. Storage closets. And who entered each of them. Suspicious note. Taser gun. Whatever this is. Toshiko's fetch quest. Tozu tablet. And Wolfgang's neck. Once there, we waited for the others to arrive. Eventually, everyone had shown up. So how are you guys feeling?
Beats me.
Words wouldn't do it justice.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty bad. I can't tell you how I feel, and I don't even know what I feel. I'd rather we save the talking for the trial. Just a few moments' time, we're going to be down there. Down there in the trial room, fighting for survival, using only our words. Damn it, Damon, get a grip already. Before the door of the tree opens, I need to ask Desmond if he has any information on the taser gun.
Hi.
Hey. Hey. His voice is steady, but his eyes kept darting around the room. Did you check the taser?
Right.
Right, I did. Any findings? Just one. The gun's blast doors were missing.
Huh?
Blast what?
Eh?
The gun's blast doors. Okay, yeah, that is something I either I or Damon know about. All of a sudden, ground. Oh no, not again. Hold on to something, everyone. The Tree of Knowledge, a symbol of sentience, intuition, and understanding, exists here only as a barren replica. The Tree of Ignorance emulates the wonder of nature, but does not achieve it. And justly so, for ignorance often aspires to be seen as wisdom. Damn it.
Shit.
Well, I guess we gotta cut this conversation short. I'll explain everything during the trial. Let's not keep this goat guy waiting.
Holy!
Oh man, this is really happening. We're so screwed. We're totally gonna die.
It is how it
If you
is.
go in expecting to fail, chances are you will.
Game over, man! Game
I don't think I feel even more because you said that.
Hold your horses.
Look at it this way. Who here are the cards more stacked against? 14 people working together to solve a murder, or one person trying to lead everyone astray?
Are we ready?
If anyone's in for a struggle, it ain't the group of 14.
Do you think?
You make a good point. Statistically, the odds are in our favor here.
It'll be okay.
Exactly, luck will be on our side.
No, it's not.
If luck was on our side, we wouldn't be in a killing game to start with. Can I say something first? Before we go?
Oh,
Oh, what is it? It's a message for the killer.
what did you say?
A message for the killer. The person here who killed Wolfgang. Whoever you are, can you please step forward? Huh?
I want to help.
We don't have to do this class trial. If you can just find it in yourself to step forward and bring this whole thing to an end already. And please. Despite Diana's pleas, no one came forward.
Come on.
If someone's determined enough to commit murder, they won't back down because of one person's pleas. Since we're on the subject, I also got a message for the killer.
Dumbass!
Don't forget that the punishment fits the crime, asshole. Enjoy the fucking death penalty. Harry spat out those words and disappeared into the opening of the
Can
tree.
I go now?
Co-signed.
Slow down.
Yo, broski, wait up. One by one, people began to follow suit. I guess if it's time to go. Is it not Diana then? Or is she just trying to cover for herself? I was so confident it's Diana, but like, why would she say that if she was trying to, she's just trying to cover herself? We knew the stairs would take us, and where the elevator after would deliver us. But everything beyond that was shrouded in uncertainty. There was no mock trial awaiting us, no faux murder designed to waste our time with a stupid mystery. This was undoubtedly real. Come on, Damon, get a hold of yourself already. Taking a deep breath, I approached the opening of the tree. Descended into the darkness. It was the same. A same elevator, the same slow churning of metal and echoing sounds of clunky machinery. And yet, something was different. Someone was gone. Someone who I never held in high regard, but who's still a person nonetheless. A person with feelings, a person with aspirations, a person with a family. Oh. A person who I will never hear speak again. Not a single word. Man. I don't want to lose anyone in this cast, but we are. Am I ready for this? Is what I did during the investigation the best I could have done? Will it be enough to carry me through this trial? Will it be enough to lead me to Wolfgang's killer? I won't know until I do it. Until I face this trial head on. There's no way I can place my faith in the other people here. There's no way they'll come to the correct conclusion. Our survival depends on me. The elevator began to slow, snapping me back to reality. I adjusted my tie instead of tall, and when the movement stopped completely. The doors and finally opened.
Rise and shine.
Somebody call an ambulance. I think I've got a case of deja vu.
Isn't this lovely?
It feels like only yesterday we were playing detective with the corpse of a crime scene. My, how insouciant and chipper so many of you used to be.
How interesting.
After all that back and forth over a simple how-done-it mystery, I'm truly curious what today's trial will yield.
Yeah,
Just to remind myself, our names are on the podiums, right? Eager to start, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to find your podium, just look for where your name is written.
The show must go on.
Come on, hop to it. I'm so excited I can barely wait a second longer. I really don't want to do this.
Oh, crud!
We gotta do as he says, though, otherwise unfortunately he might get mad. Knowing we're a palace in dismay Tozo, we begin to disperse and locate our podiums.
Hey,
It's okay, everyone. If we work together, we can do this.
we can't give up.
Right, guys? If we work together, we can solve this case. So come on, let's do this, for Wolfgang. Although her words listen and nods to the others, the expressions on their faces told a different story. It was an expression I couldn't help but feel conflicted over in a moment where I shouldn't have been focusing on my feelings. An expression of unmistakable fear. For days now, I've been angry over the mock trial. Angry at how much people resented me for telling the truth, how they twisted my words and assumed my intentions. I'm angry. That didn't mean I wanted to be right. I would have been happy for reality to prove me wrong, for no one to buckle under the pressure of the killing game. But good endings like that only exist in stories. Reality was apathetic to what we wanted, and the events of today proved me for at its mercy. Oh. So I stood there on my podium, conflicted. I think this tragedy could have been avoided had people just listened to me. Who is it that encouraged everyone to turn on me? Who is it that encouraged everyone to trust each other? If Wolfgang hadn't been so naive, they just totally believed it to protect themselves rather than each other, then maybe he would still be here. Regardless, I can't let myself be consumed by the what-ifs. Although the others have failed in preventing Wolfgang's murder, I, at the very least, can solve it. I'll uncover this killer and face the consequences of their actions. I'll solve this case and survive. Whew. Alright. Let's hope I don't flub up this too bad. We already went over the truth bullets, so I'm moving on. Alright.
Let's get this started, shall we? Welcome back to the trial grounds, everyone. Unlike previously, today will be no circus. No mockery woven with stitches and needles. A true, fair, and proper trial will commence. A battle of wits between the blackened and the spotless. I doubt I have to explain the rules to you again. But even so,
Wolfgang's death portrait.
you must vote for who you believe is the blackened. If the blackened receives the majority of votes, only they will be punished, and the rest of you will resume your killing game experience. However, if you vote for the wrong person, then expect no sympathy from your hosts. All spotless students will meet a tragic end, or the blackened will be granted release from this academy. Happy discussing! We pray for your survival and success.
God, Tozu.
Can someone please break this silence?
I don't want to talk about this.
Wolfgang deserves justice, but putting everyone's lives on the line like this is just cruel.
Oh, crap. Without a lawyer, we're totally screwed. Whenever I turn my head, I keep expecting to see him at his podium.
Oh, don't cry, Toshiko. He's in a better place now, you hear?
Whichever one of you sick bastards did this, whatever it takes, no matter if I have to kick the brains out of every single person here, I'll find you.
Do you really gotta resort to violence?
Let's just stay calm, okay? Making peace with our situation is, the first step in handling it. How the hell can I stay calm when there's a killer on the loose? That bastard is watching us right now, fully content putting our lives on the line. Is that what you call peace? Being at the mercy of some dickhead silent observer?
Well, nobody knows for sure if the killer is even a silent observer. If anything, the killer might try to feign innocence through other means. For instance, pretending to be outspoken about the case.
Ooh, Eloise. I really like Eloise. Just absolutely. She's socially anxious, but she is like. It feels like she is not necessarily shy, so she is socially anxious. When she needs to, like, she can. Even if she's like uncomfortable, she still manages to pull through with these gut punches. Huh?
What the? Are you accusing me of something?
I mean, what you did during the investigation seems really suspicious.
What did Grace do?
She stood in front of Wolfgang's dorm room and wouldn't let anyone go inside. Intentionally or not, it really hindered our investigation.
Because of Grace, almost everyone who planned to investigate Wolfgang's dorm gave up and went elsewhere. It was only after some of us started protesting that she finally relented. You know, for someone who seems so adamant about finding Wolfgang's killer, it's odd she tried to conceal potential evidence.
I'm not saying Grace is definitely the killer. I just think we should be cautious of her.
She has an alibi, though.
Huh?
Grace couldn't have murdered anyone, because she went to the game tournament.
Grace attended the tournament?
Does that rule her out from committing the murder?
Well, yeah. We had to be at the dining hall by 9 a.m.-ish, which was like half an hour before the murder. Nobody left the tournament after it started either. Nobody I know of, anyway.
There weren't many of us there. Had someone disappeared, it would have been obvious.
So, Grace is off the hook? Wow, that plot thread resolved itself quicker than I was anticipating.
So Jean, Grace, and Kai attended Cassidy and Jet's game tournament.
And me.
And Mark.
Damon and I also attended the tournament. We can also vouch for Grace.
You guys aren't lying, are you?
Lying about Grace?
What the heck? Are you seriously doubting 8 testimonies?
If the 8 of you were really together when Wolfgang was discovered, then Kai, doesn't that contradict what you said before the investigation? You told everyone you and Damon found Wolfgang first. How is that possible if you guys never left the dining hall?
What happened here? Oh wait, same chapter. I can skip one to the same chapter unless you need information.
I never said I didn't leave the dining hall!
But earlier you told us you were with the other attendees.
That's because us partygoers left the dining hall together.
When the blackout struck, the tournament folk joined arms and headed straight downstairs. I would know. I saw him.
There was a blackout?
You don't remember?
Actually, I don't recall a power outage either.
How could that be? Did an alternate timeline converge with ours?
Why is it that some people can recall a blackout but not others? Think about all the testimony they collected, you can probably make an educated guess. A lot of affected one building.
I got it. The reason not everyone experienced a blackout is because only the building containing our dorms was affected. If I had to guess, the courtyard and tree area are connected to separate power sources.
So the tournament attendees were affected, yet they left the dining hall? Why not stay put until the power returned? Because we were the ones who brought it back. It didn't seem like the power was being restored anytime soon, so we took up the challenge of fixing it ourselves. And just our luck, boom! We found a spare generator lying in one of the storage closets. Of course, then we found Wolfgang.
She's right. The 8 of us split into 4 pairs and inspected a storage room each.
Because of the toaster trinket map, we know which ones too. Eva and Grace check storage closet A. Jet and I check storage closet B. Damon and Kai check storage closet C. And Jean and Mark check storage closet D.
Yeah, I was with Grace. She can confirm being with me too.
Yeah, we were together.
Oh, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry for what I said earlier.
Sorry? You're sorry for accusing me of murder. Sorry doesn't cut it, you conniving two-faced bitch! If you really want my mercy, then get on your knees and beg for it!
Whoa! Uncool, dude.
Hang on. Even if you aren't involved in Wolfgang's murder, you must know something about his last known whereabouts.
What makes you think she'd be privy to that?
You see, there's proof Grace spent last night with Wolfgang.
Grace and Lawyer Man? Talk about an unexpected pairing.
When I investigated Wolfgang's room, I saw a bunch of golfing equipment inside. Also, there was a blue woman's jacket tossed over the mantle of Wolfgang's bed.
Ugh.
He's right. I also saw the equipment and the clothes.
The clothes are understandable, maybe. But why was golfing equipment in the room?
Yo, little history dude. Wolfgang must have spilled the beans with you, right?
Why would Ulysses know anything?
Common courtesy. If you're gonna have a one-night stand, you gotta let your roomie know in advance.
Jesus.
Common courtesy also says you should watch your mouth around children.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm getting this right, Ulysses is bunking with Wolfgang?
Well, we only shared a dorm for one night.
You aren't bunking with him anymore?
Let me provide some context. As you may remember, after Desmond suggested everyone bunk together, the male students were directed to the dining hall. Once there, we played rock, paper, scissors to determine who would partner with who. Jet partnered with Mark, Desmond with Jean, Damon with Kai, and I with Wolfgang. Those were the pairings at the time. However, the following day, Grace and I agreed to swap rooms.
Yeah? Why'd you do that?
For reasons.
Totally not suspicious.
It was a win-win situation. I get Grace out of my hair. She gets me out of hers.
You two were originally bunking together?
The pairings were decided to be a game of tic-tac-toe. I wasn't big on my partner being chosen for me. So when the opportunity arose to change that, I took it.
Thus, I became Winona's roommate, and Grace became Wolfgang's.
Can confirm. I watched the whole thing play out.
Since the room swap happened the night after we implemented the bunk buddy system, that would mean Grace and Wolfgang have been bunking for about a day and a half. Ugh, gross.
In that case, Desmond was right about those two being together last night. Grace, did Wolfgang act strange at any point? Like, maybe he said something that stuck out to you, or maybe had trouble getting to sleep.
No. Nothing weird happened last night. Nothing happened last night, but... The morning of the murder, this morning, Wolfgang told me he felt sick.
Sick?
With a stomachache. It hurt so bad he couldn't get out of bed. I was gonna cancel my plans for today, but he convinced me to attend the tournament. So, I left his room right after the morning announcement. And yes, I'm talking about the game tournament. The same one Wolfgang acted all hesitant about attending. Newsflash, I changed his mind after breakfast yesterday.
Hold on a sec. That ain't what you told me this morning.
What did Grace tell you?
Simply put, she felt like competing. Grace knew I planned to compete as well, so she asked me to be her sparring partner, since you needed one to enter the tournament.
She withheld information.
Aye, that she did. Of course, since I now know Wolfgang's condition at the time, I can't say I blame her. If someone you cared for was in a vulnerable position, would you go around and admit that in a killing game? No. You would try to protect that person by saying nothing at all.
When you put it that way. Man, Sounds rough.
I think it's obtuse.
Huh?
Say we assume the best of Grace. She withheld information not to trick anyone, but to protect someone she cares about. What then should we make of the glaring contradiction in her testimony?
What the hell do you mean, contradiction?
If your bunking partner was too ill to make the short trek to the dining hall, how did he walk all the way to the boiler room?
Good point. If Wolfgang really were bedridden, he would have stayed in his room.
Now that you mention it, to reach the underground floor, wouldn't Wolfgang need to descend, like, 4 flights of stairs? It's nothing for a healthy person, but for a guy who's supposedly really sick...
It's not my fault it doesn't make sense. It's just what Wolfgang told me.
Yeah. Didn't we decide Grace wasn't the killer anyway?
That's not to say she doesn't know more than she's letting on.
I'm not withholding anything else. Leave me alone.
Is there more to the story than Grace is telling us? Too many people are letting their emotions cloud their judgment. I need to solve this mystery and set things right. Ooh, okay, now it's up to me. Here we go. Anytime a timeline to just fetch best to have 2 blood spots.
Why don't you tell everyone the truth, Grace?
I've got nothing else to explain. The last I saw Wolfgang, he was in our dorm room.
Okay, hear me out. Secret hallways.
Nope.
We would have found those by now.
Maybe Wolfgang was carried by the killer.
That, or Wolfgang never told Grace he was sick.
I wouldn't lie about what he said.
What if Wolfgang used the elevator in the tree?
You're not helping.
Why don't you tell everyone the truth, Grace?
I've got nothing else to explain.
That, or sick.
Maybe Grace?
How?
Okay, not that.
Why don't you...
So I think Desmond then? Not Desmond.
Hey, hear me out.
Not secret hallways. So I think it's...
We would have found by now.
Diana.
Maybe Wolfgang was carried.
No, that's wrong! It's true Grace's testimony isn't consistent with where we found Wolfgang's body. But that's not Grace's fault. The only person we should be blaming is Wolfgang himself.
What the heck? Why are you blaming him?
Simple. Because he lied about being sick.
Seriously?
You can cooperate. Can't you, Toshiko? During the investigation, you told me you saw Wolfgang in the hallways at 8:10 a.m.
That's after I left.
Yes. I remember now. Ingrid. She had developed a headache, so I went to the pharmacy to find some medication. The trip itself went fine, but when I returned to the hallway, I found myself face to face
with Wolfgang?
Hold the phone! Toshiko actually saw Wolfgang?
We had a normal, pleasant exchange. He appeared perfectly healthy and even mentioned going to the tournament. Of course, he never made it.
I don't want to be that guy, but can anyone confirm this?
Mm-hmm. I heard them chatting a while in my room. Though I was bedridden like a sitting ghost, I could still make out their voices here and there.
Strange. He told Grace he wouldn't attend the tournament, but then said the opposite to Toshiko.
Sounds like he was telling fibs to conceal his actual intentions.
And what's his true plan supposed to be?
To go to the boiler room. Most likely.
I'm lost. What business would a guy like him have down there?
Why do you want me to get to the boiler room? That I can also answer. Oh, alright. Let's find the note. There it is.
This is it. During the investigation, I found this note tucked away inside Wolfgang's blazer pocket. A lot of it is water damaged. But the paper looks like it was ripped from a notebook, and the handwriting was done in ink. but some parts are still legible.
Huh. Notebook done in ink? That's consistent with Ulysses. Secret 8:15 a.m. Boiler room closed the door.
This mentions the boiler room.
Exactly. The fact that he found Wolfgang in the boiler room, and this note in his pocket. It can't be a coincidence. This note must be the reason Wolfgang went there.
That mention of a secret sure is suspicious. I'm willing to bet Wolfie's reason had something to do with it.
Agreeing to meet a stranger in some spooky dark place? Wolfgang had nerves of steel.
Ulysses, Grace, do you remember Wolfgang getting delivered a weird note?
No. The only time I recall him receiving anything was when Tozu distributed those envelopes.
I don't know anything about a note.
Really? Wolfgang shared nothing with you guys?
Guess he didn't want them to know what it said.
Right. And if Wolfgang wanted to keep this note a secret, he would obviously want to keep the meeting a secret too.
Then the reason he told Grace he felt sick
was to remove her from the picture. Yeah. Once she's not in the room, Wolfgang has his opportunity to sneak out and head downstairs. That's also why he encouraged her to attend the tournament.
Didn't this same guy ask us to share our blackmail with each other? Talk about double standards.
Are we sure he wasn't just trying to protect Grace? Maybe he knew he was meeting someone dangerous, so he thought it would be safer not to involve her.
That does sound like something Wolfgang would do.
Not to interrupt, but on the subject of blackmail, did Wolfgang ever confront the person he had?
Oh? You don't know whose blackmail he got?
Well, if you recall what Wolfgang said originally.
Speak with the blackmail you have in them only. Give the content of the most horrible the person a chance to explain themselves.
Regardless of the blackmail's contents, it would be treated as a matter between the recipient and the subject of the blackmail, and no one else. Which makes me wonder, could whether or not Wolfgang confronted his person clue us into what had originally been written on that note?
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
If that person somehow realized Wolfgang carried their blackmail, but never came forward about it, they could have demanded Wolfgang show it to them. Hence the mention of a secret. However, if Wolfgang did confront his person, I don't see why that same person would then send him a threatening note. Not least act coy about information they both know.
If the person being blackmailed wasn't the one who wrote the note, who was?
Obviously, it would be the student with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Oh, I knew that.
Yes, the secret in question may actually be a reference to Wolfgang's blackmail, not the sender's.
Is there any way to figure out whose secret it is?
We'd probably need to know whose blackmail Wolfgang had first.
Yo! Person who Wolfgang had blackmail on! If he gave you your blackmail back, can you say something?
Accidentally skip past that dialogue, my bad.
Don't forget the person with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Oh, right. Hey! Person who's got Wolfgang's blackmail! If you're innocent, say something already!
If I'm innocent, I should say something. We're telling everyone I have Wolfgang's blackmail really guarantee my innocence in their eyes? I don't know. Although everyone may follow my direction during the trial, since they can't ignore the evidence on my side. When it comes to me, well, people having Wolfgang's blackmail, how do I know they won't? Ah, fuck. Damn it. Okay, F2. Damn it. They would chastise me for not revealing his blackmail sooner. Maybe they'll get confessing and accuse me of murdering him. It's not like I would be able to refute their arguments. Do I really want to subject myself to all that? Does the trajectory of this trial really depend on whether or not
I was hesitant to admit it, since I knew it would put me on the spot. But I'd rather be suspected than be the reason this trial comes to a standstill.
Huh.
Are you confessing? Do you have Wolfgang's blackmail?
Nah, not his.
Seriously? Way to be anticlimactic.
However, it's thanks to him that I have my own.
Your own?
Wolfgang approached me the same day everyone received an envelope. Funnily enough, it happened right after I'd finished speaking with my own person.
Ooh. Sean confessing this is useful for getting Damon out of pickle, but god damn it, you're probably gonna have to confess.
He and I, we had a good talk. He gave me his envelope and asked me to take care of it. If you need the proof.
Ah, Wolfgang's envelope had the same signature.
Aye, I held on to the letter for safekeeping. This should have all been said sooner. I realized that. I suppose my pride was stronger than my rectitude. My mistake for stringing everyone along.
I mean, at least you're honest.
Truth? Thanks for letting us know, bud.
Indeed. To recognize, to acknowledge one's own misdoings is a most virtuous feat, I believe.
Right. It's very noble.
If I revealed my blackmail right now, would everyone here treat me the same? Would they be just as forgiving?
I take it our other blackmail person isn't gonna step forward?
If nothing happens, let's just have everyone recite whose blackmail they got one by one.
Huh? You sure that's a good idea?
No one's reciting shit!
It was only a suggestion. Calm your farm.
Even if we knew who had Wolfgang's blackmail, that doesn't necessarily mean they're his killer. It's annoying they won't speak up, sure, but unlike John, they would actually need to reveal Wolfgang's blackmail to prove they have it. This person might just want to respect Wolfgang's request to keep the blackmail between two people, especially now that he's gone.
I don't know. Is it really okay if we never find out?
Circumstantial evidence alone can't prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. If we want to solve this case, we need indisputable evidence.
Yeah. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle without the box art to help you.
The cases, or...
Obviously, the case. The more pieces you connect, the clearer the image you're constructing becomes. The clearer the image, the more you can assume about it. Do you see what I'm saying? Once we know how Wolfgang died, the rest of this case should fall into place.
You certainly talk a lot. Stranger than you used to. But I think I get it.
Well, I don't want to be the one to start, but we can all agree Wolfgang was stabbed to death, right?
Stabbed to death?
When I was in the boiler room, I saw a knife bobbing around in the water near him. And on the ground, there was blood. Dried blood. On the boiler room floor and on the hallway floor.
That's gotta be Wolfgang's blood, right?
The knife was bloody, so...
Huh. Seems like a brawl happened in the hallway. While poor Wolfie was minding his own business, he was confronted by the killer, who attacked him and chased him into the boiler room.
That would line up with how we found him.
The killer stabbed Wolfgang in the hallway and followed him into the boiler room? No, that's not what happened. I need to show everyone here they're gone wrong. Let's go. Yeah, he was not stabbed.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence. It was floating in the water right next to him.
Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor and along the underground hallway.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
Yeah, it was probably a sneak attack. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang, stabbed him from behind, and the rest is history.
With that knife-wielding villain on his tail, Wolfgang had no other place to run but the boiler room.
So, the killer entered the boiler room after him, which was when they, you know, ended it.
It all makes sense.
Their story they're trying to do is definitely not perfect. I can also think as much of the crime scene.
Is this...
There are a couple things that I think are worth trying here, but I think this one is more of a direct, obvious...
Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor. And along the underground hallway. A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
Yeah, it was probably a sneak attack.
So snuck up on Wolfgang, stabbed him from behind.
And the rest is history.
With that knife-wielding villain on his tail, Wolfgang had no other place to run but the boiler room.
So, the killer entered the boiler room after him. Which was when they, you know, ended it.
Is this...
Talking about the crime scene.
The blade knife is way too big of a coincidence. It was
Let's try Wolfgang's hands on Jeff's comment about being stabbed from behind. Actually, no, we'll start. That one's got two, so we'll just start with storage closet for Ingrid's comment. Although we had nowhere else around the boiler room.
Wolfgang had no other place to run but the
Okay, no, that's not it.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
Not just that. And along the underground.
The confrontation must have happened.
Yeah, it was probably a sneak attack. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang from behind.
Okay.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence. Yeah. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang from behind.
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
Yeah. We need to establish that he wasn't stabbed in the first place.
Jet, you talk a lot about the knife and the bloodstains on the floor, but did you ever look at Wolfgang himself?
I gave him a glance. Nothing too deep.
I figured. Had you actually taken the time to look at Wolfgang's back, you would have noticed a clear absence of stab wounds. In fact, none of the injuries he sustained were the type to cause severe blood loss. Seriously. We went over the same thing with Cassidy during the mock trial. Couldn't you give Wolfgang the dignity of a proper investigation?
Hey, man! It's not like I didn't try! It's just... this stuff doesn't come easy, you know? Nobody wakes up thinking they'll have to solve their buddy's murder later.
Isn't that exactly what you should be worrying about in a killing game?
Not everyone has the stomach for investigating. That's fine. That's why you got people like me to do the heavy lifting. Since some of us here weren't able to investigate Wolfgang's body, I'll lay out his injuries. There were 2 marks on the back of his neck, a bruise, and a tiny red dot. His hands were burnt too, so 3 injuries in total. Besides that, I caught nothing else.
Burns, you say?
Junior high, my dear Wilson. The killer used a flamethrower.
These didn't look like normal burns. Not the sort you'd get from a stove fire, or a hot iron, or a flamethrower, I suppose.
Contradicting my theory outright? Jeez. So this is the thanks I get for vocalizing my thoughts?
Sorry, lass.
Yes, if I may add on to what John said, the burns actually bore a strong resemblance to what you might see in cases of corona paralysis.
Chiaro... huh?
Ooh, now this I know. Coronoparalysis. It's something which happens to lightning strike victims. Getting struck by lightning is like getting kicked by a horse. The impact is so shocking, some people will lose all feeling in their limbs for a few hours.
I was aware of lightning paralysis, but even I didn't know its official name. That's a nice head you've got on your shoulders.
Lots of people tend to overlook the importance of lightning safety, especially where I'm from. My grandpappy once tried working out in the open during a thunderstorm. Pure luck's the only reason he lived to see the next day.
Sorry to hear that and all, but what does lightning have to do with anything?
Well, if I had to guess, Ulysses, did it look like a big old tree was drawn on Wolfie?
A big old tree. Yes, that's how I would describe the burns on Wolfgang.
Yep, here we go. We're gonna get to electrocution.
So Wolfgang had lightning strike scars?
We're trapped inside a building, though. Lightning can't come from anywhere.
Could he not have been struck before the killing game? Fate is stronger than will, you know. Perhaps a deity decreed the glow of his altruism from their heavenly abode and felt him a threat.
Nay, those burns were fresh. One look was all it took for me to know that. If he had these scars before, we would have noticed them anyway.
But if those marks were recently inflicted, wouldn't it mean Wolfgang somehow went outside?
Not necessarily. This is only something I thought of just now, but the reason Wolfgang sustained burns similar to that of lightning strike victims may be because whatever inflicted his burns was equivalent in damage to a lightning strike.
You saying there's something out here channeling the power of lightning?
Something equivalent damage to a lightning strike. The idea sounds ridiculous, but when I think back on the boiler room, what was inside of it? Alright, if I take that object into consideration, this theory starts to hold some weight. Here we go. Should be the generator. If it's not, it's the water.
This is it.
Yeah, it's the generator.
Ulysses, since you write everything down, do you have a description of the boiler room in your notebook?
Yes, I do. Why?
Since some people here never investigated the crime scene, they probably aren't as familiar with the room as we are. So, you should read out your description of it.
Sure. The boiler room consists of a small concrete platform surrounded by ankle-deep water. Throughout the room are boxes filled with various garbage, and in the back looks to be a generator, charred beyond belief. What you just heard is a brief summary of my notes.
Hear that? There's a generator inside the boiler room.
Ooh, there is indeed a generator inside the room. Oh. Looking at the time now, we will cut this episode and pick up immediately after we left off. It's not the cleanest transition, but yeah, what can you do? So yeah, see you next episode for more Even's Garden.